Last time on JoeMac Reads, we went over Platform Decay, the 8th entry into Martha Wells' Murderbot Diaries. I dedicated myself to calling it the 9th entry the entire video, and I was wrong. It's the 8th entry. Unfortunately, we felt like the story has started to become repetitive, and it was our least favorite Murderbot Diary to date. However, this time on JoeMac Reads, we are going to talk about all the books that I've bought in 2026. Let's get into it. Let's look at these books that I bought, and I hope maybe you guys have read some or will read them with me so we can talk about them later. Oh, hey, I'm JoeMac, and welcome back to the channel. That, just so you know, is my least favorite cover of all the things we're going to talk about today, but it was the easiest one to superimpose my face on, so that's what we chose as the thumbnail. Thank you for still clicking on the video anyways. Today, we have the dreaded filler episode. I know, I'm sorry. No. It's a book haul. I'm sure some people might dig it. I've just kind of been trying to stick to only book content as far as book reviews go, but I have had trouble. I have had trouble finding time to read at an appropriate pace to put the videos out at least twice a month, trying to stick to a smaller schedule because family, job, you know, the whole nine, summertime. And with that being said, I have bought enough time for me to have 2 books that I've finished and a third one about halfway done. So we'll get to that soon, and you'll find out what those books were at the end of the video with our new, fun, and improved ending segment where we go over next time on JoeMac Reads. So stick around for that or skip to it if you want to see what books we're going to be reviewing next. But in the meantime, I just wanted to say that you're going to notice something, and that's these books are very sci-fi coded. I love fantasy and sci-fi. Obviously, I'm a white dude, but I think I love sci-fi more than I love fantasy. I don't know if it's robots or space or hard science or what it is that really, floats my boat, tickles my fancy, if you will, more than the magic and the dragons and the swords, because I love swords. But there's something about sci-fi that, at least recently, I've really had a strong desire to read. So that is going to be the through line on not all, but most of the things that I've acquired this year. And please don't tell anyone who I'm related to the amount of books you're about to see. This is everything I could remember that I got this year. This is everything that has arrived at my house so far, because if I kept waiting for stuff to arrive, I'd never get this video out. So please don't Google prices. Please don't look up the math, and sit back, enjoy. I hope maybe you guys read some of these things with me. Maybe you guys have read some of these things and you'll talk to me about them when I finish them. But without further ado, let's switch the point of view and check out these books. All right, the first book we'll talk about is There Is No AntiMemetics Division, a novel by Qntm. Check it out. I love this new thing I see a lot of books doing, where there's like some shine or some foil to these books that are coming out. Definitely like that. Check out the back. Wonderful. Not too thick. We're looking at 278 pages. Looking forward to this one. This is one of the books that I got because I love sci-fi, like I said. And what I'm really looking forward to is finding sci-fi with another aspect to it. And in this case, what I'm looking for is sci-fi with a touch of horror or thriller, or just another genre introduced with sci-fi as the base. So I'm really looking forward to this book and the next couple of books that we have as well. So let's check those out. For the same reason, I was recommended by a new local indie bookstore, and one of the employees there, check out Jeff VanderMeer's Area X what is now a quadrology. It looks like there's a 5th book coming out. So I did get the 10th anniversary editions here. Let's see if I can lay these out in a nice way where you can. I got this new POV setup that I'm trying to do here. Let's see. Hold on. All right. So I think the art is just awesome, that it's like a little creepy and everything. I love, once again, we got like this foiling going on everything that really just, I think, adds an extra element to how it's going. I did get these in paperback, and the reason for that was that they printed the first 3 in this 10th anniversary edition. They printed them in the paperback, but the 4th one, which is newer, and it looks like there is a 5th one coming out, but the 4th one that's newer, they did make in hardback and paperback. But as you know, we got to have everything matching on the shelves, so I did make sure to get book 4 in paperback as well, so that the spines would match and everything would look good next to each other. So overall, these don't look, super thick or anything. I think as a quadrology, as a unit, that's a chonker. I'm looking forward to reading Area X. I've seen Quinn talk about it. I've seen a lot of stuff. I don't know what's going on down here with the different symbols, but it looks like it's every other book. It's going to change up. Maybe that has something to do with the contents of the story, but we'll see. I did get them all at once. They are all the 10th anniversary edition and everything, but I love how shiny that is. It's so cool. This is another thing that's falling under the sci-fi thriller, sci-fi horror type story for me that I looked up. Just another aspect to sci-fi, but, a little bit more than just space and science and laser swords. So looking forward to this as well. Next up, we got, this is actually an omnibus. This is DawnRunner. It was like $20, I think, on Amazon. And this contains all 5 of the graphic novels or comics or whatever you want to call them, from the artist, from Dark Horse publication, but Ram V and even Cagle. It's a mech story. I am huge on mechs, love Gundams, love Gunpla, the whole 9, Armored Core, whatever you want to say. The art looks fantastic. Really looking forward to read this. It is not, if you look it up and you look up what it is, there's kaijus and stuff, but this is not Pacific Rim in any way. It's just a little similar. Robots got to have something to fight, and if they're not fighting other robots, they're fighting giant monsters. So I'm really looking forward to this. I love that it's in hardback. I think it's beautiful. I love this cover, which I think is actually the first comic they chose to run with this for the hardback cover. I love the font and everything here that they're choosing to do. Really looking forward to this. The next couple of books are also going to be mech based. Let's keep a theme going here. Everything here is pretty big. I don't know how to. So we also, excuse me. We also got, excuse me. So sorry. We also got, and actually I haven't peeled the cellophane off these. We also got the last 3 Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin deluxe editions by Kodansha. So, feeling these for the first time. They're very soft. They're gorgeous. I love these. Now, if you like Gundam, you have 2 choices. You have these large copies, which are going to give you, larger images. The images will be bigger, so if that's what you're looking for, that's what you can get. There's also only 6 versus 12. And if you like the monocolor matching spine style on your shelf, I recommend these incredible deluxe versions. But I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that the Vertigo Comics versions of Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin do have absolutely gorgeous full bleed front, spine, and back covers. There are 12 of them. And at the end of the day, these deluxe editions are twice as expensive as the original versions. So it's going to cost you the same amount of money no matter which version you want to go for. It really just depends on if you're going for that color and that full bleed, which I won't fault you. I mean, those are gorgeous. I had a super hard time picking which one to go for, and if I'm being completely honest, I didn't know about the other ones. But I love these. I think they're huge. I think they look great on the shelf. I'm really looking forward to it. I love the minimalistic look of the colors, this faux leather, and the debossing for what's important for what's going on at this point in the story. I'm looking forward to having the large art. Something else that's coming out in the future in 2027. I think it's April that is coming out in these deluxe editions. They've done Trigon, they've done a bunch of other things in these large sizes, but they're coming out with Gantz. Gantz is something I read super early in like high school. And by early, I mean in my life. So in high school, I read Gantz. Haven't read it again. Found it on the internet. Would like to own it. And there's a lot of those. You know, they have the big versions, the 3-in-1s and stuff, but it looks like the deluxe editions are going to look like the suits. They look gorgeous. I'm going to grab those personally. I'm looking forward to that. But here's book 6. So we do have them all now. Sorry, I'm really trying to get used to this POV thing. I hope it's not making anyone motion sick. I'm really looking forward to reading these. Really looking forward to getting into this. I've watched Advent of the Red Comet. I've watched Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. I've watched most of the Gundams. I've never read it. So looking forward to see if there's any major differences, whether it's art or story beats on what's going on here versus in the anime. But really looking forward to these. Really happy to have these. These were, I think, roughly like $45 each. I totally said don't talk about prices or look anything up in the beginning, and here I am telling on myself. Now, don't call me a liar, because I know I set us up for all these sci-fi books, but I did get three fantasy or non-sci-fi books recently. And one of those is because I grew up and I read the Night Angel trilogy in high school. I did have a chance to acquire in print The Perfect Shadow, which is the novella, and I believe it contains a short story as well. The only thing that's disappointing about me owning this is I own the mass markets for the trilogy, and this only comes in hardback. Now, the styling and the art and the white and everything is exactly the same as those mass markets. Now, I also own the black on black on black on black omnibus, which is super sexy, but also doesn't match this. So I will just do my best not to focus on that too much when I look at my shelves. But happy to get it. Happy to finally complete that collection. Honestly, I didn't even know I was missing this. So happy to come across it and happy to grab this in print. Perfect Shadow, Brent Weeks. Also, we were able to get from Chiroptera Press, or Chiroptera, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers. This is a phenomenal printing. This is the gilded edges, the yellow sewn binding, the yellow built-in bookmark. Can't think of the actual name of that thing. You got gold end papers. I mean, they said King in Yellow, pause. Yellow everything, yellow everywhere, only yellow. I love this book without the dust jacket on it. Everything I have has the dust jacket on it unless I'm reading it. I don't think I'm going to display this with the dust jacket on it. I love this gilded debossed cover. The cloth feels superb. It's very dense. It's very heavy. This feels like a wonderful fine press book. I've never read The King in Yellow, and I got this to motivate myself. I can't wait to get into it. I can't wait to check it out. A game came out recently called Saros that takes a lot from it. I know there's King in Yellow influence in Sun Eater with Karn Sagara, the King with 10,000 Eyes. So I'm looking forward to learning more about those connections and just doing a little bit of, not history in the fiction sense, but you know, this isn't new, and it's something that I think I should have read by now. So looking forward to getting this. I think this version is impeccable. I love it, and it's definitely going to get me to read it. And last but not least, I did a drug deal for this book, and I don't mean literally, but I do mean I met someone in a parking lot and exchanged cold hard cash for this bad boy. This is Folio Society, Legends of King Arthur in a single volume. You can get this in a triple volume or in this single volume. The only difference being in the triple volumes, obviously you have 3 books, but all the covers are the same. In the 3-volume version, the art is all single color. It's all black and white. But in this single volume version, you get 2 colors. You get black, white. Well, okay, that would be 3 colors, but you get red. Just for a little extra dimension. Let's see if I can find you guys something else to show you something else to show you real quick. Another piece. I love King Arthur. I got some Bernard Cornwell's coming in, the Winter King and everything. And I have the Mary Stuart trilogy to go over as well. The only downside to this book, and it's not huge, is it is a double X library version. And they chose to put their stamps on the back of a piece of art, which is blasphemous. So super not happy about that, but it's not something I'm going to see all the time. Happy to add this to my collection. It's phenomenal. My first and only Folio Society book, $30 in a parking lot. Love it. This next set, a fun trilogy that I was able to grab. And if I'm being honest with you, I grabbed the second and third book in the trilogy, Rama 2 and Garden of Rama, at a secondhand bookstore, Old Editions Bookshop here. And I got these for a hot $12. They are the book club editions. And I started looking for a Rendezvous with Rama. I don't know much about this story or about these books, but I do know that Rendezvous with Rama was an influential sci-fi book. And my good friend Sam Barber sent me Rendezvous with Rama because he had an extra copy. Thank you, my man. I appreciate this. An exquisite copy, book 1, much thinner than the other 2, and also only has Arthur C. Clarke listed as the author, whereas these 2 include Mr. Gentry Lee. So I wonder how much Mr. Clarke versus Mr. Lee had to do with the books beyond Rendezvous with Rama. And if I'm being honest with everybody, I will read this one. I might try these 2, but I'm not promising anything. And I do believe there's actually a 4th one, which I will only get if I end up reading all 3. But once again, thank you, Sam. Fantastic. Super happy to have these. Just like King in Yellow, I feel like this is something that I definitely should have read by now. So looking forward to checking it out. I think the art is just like, that's nuts, right? Like, that's trippy. I have also made my way to Barnes & Noble in the past 7 months one time. And the book that I got was Vernor Vinge, A Fire Upon the Deep, the Tor Essentials version. Now, this also falls into that category of sci-fi thriller, sci-fi horror, sci-fi plus, according to the internet for me when I was looking those things up. And I think it's book 1 of 2. Don't remember off the top of my head what book 2 is, but didn't want to dedicate to any more than this. It's a beautiful blue spine. However, what's not beautiful, if you look closely, it's got these absolutely vomit-inducing wrinkles. So I walked up to the counter and I said, please give me a different version. You got some gross stuff going on. And they said, we don't have one. But what we do have is 20% off this version. And I said, you, sir, have yourself a deal. Then they couldn't find a 20% off sticker. So I got 25% off. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, what we call a win. I'm thinking maybe with all these Sci-Fi Plus, that's what I'm going to call it, these Sci-Fi Plus books, maybe I'll do these in October as like that'll be my sci-fi spooky season. Let me know if you think that's a good idea. So the story behind these purchases was that I saw a friend post book 1 and book 2, and I fell in love with the covers. I thought they looked like fine press versions of covers that you see for other books. So I just had to have them. Terra Ignata by Ada Palmer in hardback. This took me 2 whole days on eBay and Amazon to find them all. And I was able to get all of them in great quality. Book 1, 2 Like the Lightning. I mean, look at this, guys. It's gorgeous. Book 1, 2 Like the Lightning. Book 2, 7 Surrenders. I hear these take place right after one another. I'm halfway through the first book. It's more of a political sci-fi. I'm really enjoying it. It is another frame narrative, meaning that the main character is telling you the story from the future. We don't get the end right away like we did in Sun Eater or anything. This is an X-Library version. I haven't done my due diligence, so sorry for having the stickers still on this guy. This was the hardest one to find, and you know what that means. Perhaps the Stars, book 4, the thickest of all of these books. I'm doing audio and reading these physically. The audio is great. I'm honestly loving this, guys. I can't wait to talk to you guys about each one of these books one at a time to make 4 videos. Fantastic, political, slow burn. It's about the whole civilization. It's not just about what's happening with one superhero. I'm loving these, and they're gorgeous. The UK versions are the same, but they have like this framed ribbon that I just can't get behind. So I'm happy I was able to find all 4 in hardback and in the US version. Check these out, guys. This is, if you haven't read Terragnata by Ada Palmer, I really recommend it. Next up, Peter F. Hamilton. This is what I think he's like a hard sci-fi prodigy. He's got a lot of trilogies, a lot of books out there. I do have on ebook, I think it's like the Neutronian Alchemist, the Naked God. I don't know what trilogy that is, but it's something I picked up after reading The Expanse. And recently, during one of the big Game Awards shows, there was a bunch of trailers, and one of the trailers was for a game called Exodus. And it turns out the books by the same name, written by Peter F. Hamilton, are part of like a prequel, like whole universe type thing. So I grabbed those. And these guys, these are so heavy. The Archimedes Engine, Exodus Book 1 by Peter F. Hamilton. These are so heavy. The print quality is insane for these books. The only thing that I was disappointed was that I had in my own head an idea that these were going to be like shiny gold for no reason at all. I just saw it and I said that'd be sick if it was shiny, and then it wasn't. I was like, oh damn. But these are super cool, super unique, and I think it'd be so great to read these and then play the game, especially if the game like doesn't suck. I think that would be so fantastic. And of course, we have book 2, Exodus, the Helium Sea. Now, if you look, one thing I noticed, these are squared and these are like pointy, and then you have like the gold to the red. So I'm looking forward to figuring out why, like if that has anything to, if the art direction there has anything to do with things that are going on in the story. I have absolutely no idea what these are about. Very heavy, very well made books. Now, if you had a keen eye, when I went and grabbed that book, you might have saw something. And you might see it again there as I go to reach for it. But this is K.M. Moak's The Evil Algorithm. Book 1 of the Evil trilogy. Look at that, guys. Look at how gorgeous this is. We got foil again. Look at this art. K.M. Moak is 3 people. It is an artist, a world builder, and an author. Look at all the foil. Isn't that gorgeous? This art is incredible. It is published, created, put out by Mr. B's Emporium. So it's like a store in the UK. And guys, I finished this. Spoiler alert for the end of this video. This is going to be the next video that I put out, is a review for this book. And to write a book, sent out an email. They had like 200 copies that were triple signed because they only made like 2,000 of these and they were selling out everywhere. And I did not get in on that, but I did say, internet, find me one, and boy did we. This as of now, sci-fi wise, this is my favorite read of the year. If you do anything this year, get AJ Drummond's Oathbreaker books, and then after that, pick yourself up an Evil Algorithm. I cannot wait for book 2. This was so unique. I can't wait to. I don't want to get too into it because I'm going to talk about it next time. But oh my god, guys. Utterly fantastic. Magnificent. I loved it so much. Last, but certainly not least, we have Dick in a Box by Centipede Press. 3 stories by Philip K. Dick. The Cosmic Puppets, Dr. Futurity, and Vulcan's Hammer. In a beautiful slipcase. These are the first Centipede Press books that I own. I was lucky enough. I collected these individually over time, and I was able to get somebody to break their set to send me the slipcase and Vulcan's Hammer because I really struggled to find those. Speaking of, here is Vulcan's Hammer. Absolutely fantastic art. This guy here reminds me of the Joker from Christopher Nolan's trilogy, which has absolutely nothing to do with this, but just like the posing. The art is phenomenal. They come pre-Mylard, which is absolutely gorgeous. my first experience with Centipede Press says, if there's anything else they make that I might like, I'm pulling the trigger. The art in these books is really cool. They give you all the previous covers for Mr. Dick's stories. And by stories, I mean like this particular, each story's covers, you get a lot of Dick out there. I think he's got like 33 stories or something. Dr. Futurity. Another book, look at, you got like different tone of blue, different tone of orange, but you got blue and orange going on. That reminds me of Blade Runner, but this is not the story Blade Runner is based on. That's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. Covers. Now, I'm not a Dick expert. I do enjoy reading Philip K. Dick. And I have read quite a good amount of Philip K. Dick. However, I do believe, and feel free to get in those comments and let me know that I'm wrong, but I do believe, this is the Cosmic Puppets, I do believe that these are some lesser known, this is some lesser known Dick. These are lesser known Dick stories. I'm going to make as many Dick jokes as I can, guys. Sorry. These aren't, you know, this isn't Man in the High Castle or Ubik or Valis, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. We can remember it for you wholesale. These aren't the stories that were made into movies, basically, is what I'm saying. This is deep Dick. These are some of the early Dick stories. These are some things that you have to enjoy. Oh, I don't want to show that one yet. These are some stuff these are some stuff that you really, if you like Dick, you're gonna search out. This is what we use for the thumbnail. I am not the biggest fan of this cover. It's just a bunch of images put together to create it. It's a little less artistic than the rest, but nevertheless, you know, it is what it is. That's why I used it, because that's just a dude's face, guys. Right? But it was my face, and now it's this guy's face. This is Solar Lottery. This is one of the books in set 2. Sorry, the first 3 books I showed you was set 1 in that slipcase. I do not have a slipcase for set 2. But these are all just phenomenal. They're like 8.5 inches tall, and they're a little, they're not as wide as like your standard hardcover. I don't know if this is like called Royal or what the specific size is called. This is the World Jones made. More blue and orange. More of a pencil sketch styles cover. Pretty cool. More blue and orange. I wonder if there's something with that. With Dick and blue and orange. One of the original covers. I think I might actually have that copy. I'm not sure. Oop, struggling to close that one a little bit. This is my absolute favorite cover. Again, blue and orange. This is The Man Who Japed. An absolutely gorgeous piece of art here. I adore it. It's my favorite by far of all of them. Very unique to the other arts as well for the story. More orange. In the final book in this Dick set number 2 from Centipede Press, a little story about this one. This is Eye in the Sky. Now, like I said, I got these individually and they were sold as sets. It was a 3-book set, the first 3 I showed you, and then a 4-book set, which included The Eye in the Sky, The Man Who Japed, The World Jones Made, and Solar Lottery. I somehow ended up getting these one at a time, and I could not find Eye in the Sky by itself. I was not suave enough. I was not smooth enough to convince anybody to break their set to sell me this one. So I did what any good book collector does, and that is I emailed Centipede Press and threw a Hail Mary and said, you guys got any of these lying behind a bookshelf? It's stuck in someone's drawer. Because I, for the life of me, cannot find this single book. And Jared came through. My guy is incredible. He responded to me in like 24 hours. He found one in the attic. I don't know where he found it. I'm making that up. But he did find one, just a loose Eye in the Sky that I did pay for. He did not send it for free. Let it be known. Which is totally fine. I'm not expecting handouts or anything like that. But for them to have found a single book that was printed in sets, and these are all out of print, for them to still have from like the 2020, 2021 time, for them to still have one of these laying around, and for me to be lucky enough for that to have worked is incredible. I'll never forget that. I'm looking forward to Centipede doing something else that I enjoy to get some more books from them. Absolutely, for sure. They came pre-Mylar. The slipcase is beautiful. See if I can find one for the second 4 books. But that is all the Dick that I purchased. Those are, I think that's all the sci-fi and everything that I got. Oh, hold on. We have Moorcock. That's Michael Moorcock. Behold the Man, one of Michael Moorcock's sci-fi stories. I got this from an indie bookstore, I believe out of the great state of Virginia, thanks to my good friend Josh. So thanks for spending my money, Josh. But I'm looking forward to reading this because I've really only read Mr. Moorcock's fantasy stories so far as Elric, Prince Coram, and the like, Count Brass. So I want to see how he writes sci-fi. And also I wanted to make the Dick Moorcock joke. So I lined it up this way. But this is the last book that I bought. So hopefully you guys saw something that maybe you'd like. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this book haul that I put you through in this filler episode for JoeMac Reads. Maybe you guys have read some of these books and you can talk to me about them, or maybe you'll read them with me. Who knows? You know how I'll know? If you get in those comments. All right, guys. Love you. Bye. Next time on JoeMac Reads, we look at the FOMO Book of the Year, the Evil algorithm. I think it's pronounced evil, like evolution, or evil, or evil. I'm not sure. I haven't decided because there isn't an audiobook for it, and it's my interpretation. The Evil algorithm. It was so good, guys. I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. This book is more than just FOMO because it was limited in copies, if you guys have heard about it. If not, get to Amazon, get to the internet. Wholly unique, wholly wonderful. Tune in next time on JoeMac Reads.